People have been arrested for looting as of tonight. That's according to the LA County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, and a few will go into place for evacuation zones. Nicole Comstock is in Altadena with more on the effort to keep people's property, Nicole, safe.
It's infuriating, Pat and Leslie, that people would actually not have enough compassion to where they would come out here during one of the most vulnerable, terrible times in people's lives, when they lost so much of their town, when people have lost homes, and when people have actually died during these catastrophic fires, to loot in communities, to ravage through whatever homes have been salvaged and try to find things of value to take with them. But unfortunately, that's exactly what's happening in at least 20 cases, like we mentioned. Especially heartbreaking when you take a look at how much damage was caused to the middle of this town here in Altadena. This is basically the center of town here, the heart of Altadena, and it's broken tonight. Right here, you're looking at what used to be Altadena Hardware Store, which is, you know, a pillar in this community that's been here for 80 years. It's been owned by multiple local families here. And then next door to it, to the left, there was Willema Hat Company, which has been here for 10 years. And, you know, the guy has been custom making hats here with tools. He says online he is a source that were 100 years old, and he would, you know, make these by hand. So there are a lot of craftspeople and artisans in this community, and that's what a lot of these stores were that have burned down. They just had a press conference a short time ago. The LA County Sheriff Robert Luna saying that looting in these communities is completely unacceptable, that they have had at least 20 instances of looting countywide. So we're not certain how many of those have been in Altadena, but some deputies we've spoken to have said they believe that most, if not all of those, have actually been here in Altadena, which is kind of crazy that people would come from all over the place to do that. They do have a lot of sheriff's deputies blocking streets here, and if anyone tries to get past the barricades, they're yelling at them and they're actually chasing them down. So they're doing whatever they can to keep these people out. But, you know, when they want to come after these valuables, they'll find ways to sneak in here tonight. And the Sheriff's Department wants people to know that they're not going to allow this to happen. And that's why they're mobilizing not only a curfew, they're working on getting that into place, but they're mobilizing the National Guard in these areas to have a bigger show of force and just more people on the ground to keep people out. Now, of course, people who have lost homes, people who have had friends die, who have neighbors who lost homes, are extremely upset to hear about the looting. You know, even if your home is still standing, now you have that next fear, which is that someone's going to go into it and take what you have. Take a listen to these people we spoke with.
It's just, they have zero empathy of the situation at hand, and for them to take advantage of that it's evil.
That is unacceptable behavior. Having additional resources, having the National Guard with us, which will augment those resources, will help send a stronger message, keep people out of the impacted areas so we don't continuously victimize the people who have already been victimized.
And, you know, we asked some sheriff's deputies we spoke with tonight how they are catching these people in most cases, because these neighborhoods are super dark. And I can imagine it would be incredibly difficult to go around to all of these fire-ravaged neighborhoods and actually find people who are looting. Lots of places you can hide out here. They said they're actually getting a lot of tips from people who live in this community. Of course, some people stayed behind. Some people did not lose their homes. And it's a small town here. It has a really tight-knit feel. And so everyone kind of knows who belongs in these neighborhoods and who doesn't. So as soon as citizens here see someone who's out of place, who maybe they see them with a trash bag, they're calling the Sheriff's Department and giving them tips. They're giving them license plates. They're giving them descriptions. They're letting them know exactly who they are. And then other than that, they also say that they have undercover officers out in these communities. So even if you don't necessarily see a marked sheriff's patrol car down one particular street, that doesn't mean they're not out here. They're in cars with blacked out windows and they're looking for people. So they're doing whatever they can to prevent this from happening. Another really sad story, I just spoke with a young man just a short time ago who said, you know, this is especially upsetting because people died in some of these homes. He said he had a friend who was 14, maybe 15 years old, who died in this fire trying to escape his home, saying that he tried to get out and he just couldn't in time. And he says he actually got a call from that young man's mother telling him what happened. Apparently their neighbors out here, so if that's the case, if there was this 14 or 15-year-old who died, such a young person to lose their lives, and then for people to come up here and loot homes is so incredibly disrespectful. And so the Sheriff's Department is doing what they can to prevent that. We have not yet seen any National Guard troops in the area, but we know that they are on the way. We heard maybe some are coming from Ontario. So hopefully within the next couple of hours out here, we'll see them on the ground, and we'll certainly keep you posted. Reporting live in Altadena, Nicole Comstock, KCAL News.
You know, it's already bad enough where people are probably sleeping with one eye open, thinking about spot fires or things like that breaking out. They can't sleep from the wind, and now they have to think about possibility of somebody coming to loot their neighborhood. That old adage, what's the saying? If you see something, say something. That's just, another something that we have to look out for. Neighbors looking after neighbors, and that's probably what it's going to take. Nicole, when you talk about people giving tips to law enforcement, that's probably going to be the main way they're going to catch some of these people. And we hope they do get caught. They shouldn't be doing that. Full stop.
Yeah, people really have to band together during a natural disaster like this. And, you hope to see as many people from law enforcement and first responders out in communities as you can. But with such big, fire burn areas, they can't be everywhere at once. And so you really do rely on your community. So if you live in a good neighborhood where you actually know the people who live next door to you and down the block, which I feel like is rare nowadays with a lot of people living, in cities and apartment buildings, and you barely ever even see your neighbors out the door. These are people you can really rely on in a time like this, and that's what Altadena is like. So people aren't going to let this happen if they see it. They're going to notify authorities immediately.
Yeah, Nicole, I had a quick question. Earlier, I was watching our coverage, and criminals, they'll find a way to get in. But I just wanted to ask, how secure is the neighborhood? Because earlier, our reporter was actually talking to people in this area who simply could just not even get to their homes, even if they had IDs with their address on them.
Yeah, I mean, basically all of the main streets that you can get up to these neighborhoods on, like Lake Avenue, and then over on the west side of town, they have sheriff's deputies and police and fire engines on basically all of the main intersections. So if anyone's trying to get in, they're going to check people's IDs and see, hey, do you actually live here? Do you have a reason to be up here? And if you don't, you're not getting in. And like I mentioned, I actually saw deputies yelling at people and running down the street to get them to turn back around. So they're not having it out here. The thing is, it's a lot of these streets are on a grid pattern. So if you know the area, or even if you're just, you're good at finding your way around looking at a map, they're little back ways. I'm sure that people can sneak in. I'm surprised people are doing it, because the past couple of days we've been driving around in Altadena. There are so many neighborhoods that have power lines down all over the roads. And so it's really unsafe to drive around down here. But I'm assuming if people are getting in, maybe they're parking their cars down outside of this evacuation zone and walking in, because that seems to me like it would be, the only way you'd be able to get around deputies at these roadblocks.
That's why it's going to take neighbors helping neighbors, because if you see somebody that doesn't necessarily live on that street, you may want to ask some questions. All right, thanks so much for that, Nicole.